Okay, now we're just picking right back up with the second half of our interview. So Megan, what previous experiences have you had that will assist you with us?
Well, I worked on a campus staff for about 4 years, and I've also worked at the student-run magazine at Ohio University's campus, which is Backdrop Magazine. And both of those arenas gave me different perspectives into what I wanted to do with my writing. At first, I thought it was news writing, and then after writing for Backdrop, I really got interested in the feature writing. I think there's just too much to say about an important topic that you can't fit it into a 700-word article. It's just not possible without giving it enough perspective or enough information that a reader would want to know. So, but although Backdrop made me want to get more involved with magazine writing, I still stayed on the campus staff because, like I said before, I feel as if working on a deadline is one of my greatest strengths, and that outlet definitely provided me with what I needed to know. So, both those experiences.
You mentioned future writing?
Feature.
Oh, feature writing. Okay. Now, do you feel you work better in groups or teams, or do you like to work better by yourself?
Definitely depends on the situation.
Okay.
But I work well in both, no doubt about it. I think there are times that call for group effort, and I think there are times that call for my individual attention on a subject, such as if I'm writing a story. I don't really need anyone to help me out with that unless someone else can get me sources. But I mean, the writing part of it, I do by myself, and other than that, I've had great experience in working in groups on my campus staff. I've obviously had to sit in hour-long meetings and just pitch out topics and feed off each other. So I'd say either or, depending on the situation.
Okay. Tell me maybe one or two of your favorite stories that you had to write, and why.
Oh, man. Well, the first story I ever had to write was, Ohio University just decided to cut 2 of its sports because they weren't in line, actually multiple sports, but 2 of them specifically caused like great uproar on campus because they were track and field and water, or swimming and diving.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so it was my first day on the job, and they sent me over to the Ohio University in Athens town hall meeting where both representatives from Ohio University, including the president, was there to speak, and then members of Athens community can come and ask questions or, pose any trouble they are having, or discuss any conflicts. But anyway, moving forward, so I get in there, I'm this like barely 19-year-old freshman, and it's my first time doing anything like it, and there's all these people there, and my editor said, it's not going to be a big deal, this will be good for you. So many people there, and here comes the swimming team, and here comes the track and field, and everyone's in an uproar. So that was definitely one of my most memorable experiences, because it really just put me in the front lines of what reporting is all about. And I mean, I was nervous, but I just had to pull through, and it ended up being a great article. And then, sorry, I have another one.
Okay, go ahead, tell me about another one.
I was writing this story for Backdrop, and it was on an intense deadline. Like, I just joined the organization, and they ended up needing a story in 2 weeks about local politicians' houses. And, you can't just call up local politicians on the fly and trying to get into their houses, but I ended up finding 2 people just in time, and then one of the ladies I went to visit, in particular, her house was interesting because there were solar panels on her roof, and so that kind of gave me a good story. So I thought, alright, this will be cool, some like hippie lady that's off the grid, it'll be a great story. And she kept walking me around her house and kept wanting to talk about deer poop. And so I'm just like trying to direct, because that's one of the hardest things when you're interviewing people is like directing them in that way that you want to get the answer that you're looking for. Because you always have an idea in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am walking around trying to get information about solar panels and new age technology, and she wants to talk about this deer poop that's in her backyard. So that was definitely a memorable experience.
That sounds funny.
Yeah, it was just a bizarre lady, She was so neurotic. And then she fell. Oh my god, yeah, she fell because she was trying to get up a ladder so she was trying to get out of the ladder so my photographer could climb up and take a picture. And then she ended up getting on the ladder, and then she fell not far or anything, but and she gets up and says, "I'm sorry, I had too much coffee today." I'm like, "Are you sure that's all you had?" But
wow. Okay. What was the favorite thing about your last job?
I don't know if I had one particular favorite thing about my last job, but there were aspects about it that I really enjoyed, which were working with other young writers, seeing the promise that they have, and being able to feed off each other. Also, working for a smaller newspaper, I got more one-on-one attention from my editor. He would often send me back any questions he had, or if he saw something in my writing that could be improved, he'd actually email me that. So he was almost like a teacher to me too, so that was great.
Cool. Now you talked about some of your more memorable experiences. What was maybe like your favorite piece that you ever had to do?
Favorite article?
Yeah, your favorite article that you had to write.
Yeah. This is great. There's this guy named Dan Erlewine who lives in Athens, and he has made guitars for, I don't know if you know who Albert King is. You know who Albert King is?
No, I don't.
Well, he's like this big blues guy, and he's made guitars for Jerry Garcia, and he's made guitars or fixed Santana's guitar, just all this crazy cool stuff. So I heard about him just like through the grapevine. I knew that he worked in a local industry in Athens. I won't even say industry, company, small company. But that's unique. The reason why it was Story is because here's Athens, which is this rather impoverished area. It's hard for people to find jobs outside of the university. But there's this small company named Stuart McDonald that has this the top-notch guitar repairman. So I thought that would make a great story for my feature writing class. And I got to go interview him. And another situation where I had to continually try to direct the conversation in the way I needed it to go, because he kept wanting to talk about these shuffle boards that he was making, and I'm like, don't you want to tell me about like the guitar you made with Jerry Garcia, what it looked like, what it smelled like? But finally I got that out of him, and it's just a great experience. That's the best part of what I do, is getting to meet the people.
Okay, and I think we have to stop one more time just for time restrictions.